Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another watch along. And because this watch along is technically a live stream, you can get in on the action of throwing your hat in the ring to pick a film for me to do a watch along on. I'm feeling very festive the next few streams or so I do going into the Christmas season. You will probably more than likely see me wearing the Santa hat. I also picked this shirt up at Five Below today that said, "This is as jolly as I get." You know, I'm a little more jolly than Mr. Grinch, but I still love Grinch and Max. They're kind of a staple in my household. Now, unfortunately, Max, the dog, is not on this shirt, but I did get some Grinch Hershey's Kisses that on some of the full wrappers on the bottom, Max is on there. So that made me happy. Also, you may notice that there's an Evil Dead chick woman that looks a little similar to me. It's a mixture of my face and some AI. Sorry about that, folks. Reggie, you want Steve's going to be on here in just a second, but pardon the noise here. But I've created this new my face melded with a little AI. I'm not as well endowed as this woman that's on here, so just please forgive that little indiscretion. But I wanted to make myself a little logo to
Shush, girl.
Stop. A little logo to go by my little Evil Dead chick name there. And of course, I have the Deadites on Deck that Steve made that for me. I put the on deck on there and the like and subscribe. But other than that, and Steve has a shirt I just made for him with a Jello logo on it. So I also made him a mouse pad, but we don't have to get into all that. But before I let Steve make his announcement, I did want to remind everybody, of course, we have nobody in here now, unless that is just StreamYard or YouTube being crazy. But maybe there'll be somebody in here later. But we're doing a watch along for It Follows. And this was Mentallect's pick. He threw his hat in the ring and gave a $5 super chat. And he was the only one for tonight's watch along and for tomorrow night's watch along, which will be for REC or REC, which is a movie I think I've seen part of, but not seen all of. But It Follows, I have seen. I really like it. I think Steve likes it because this is his copy that I'm watching.
They're making a sequel.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know if it's going to be as good as the original, but anyways, I guess, well, before I let Steve make this announcement, I am planning on having another discount, which will be a 10% discount, but it's for any amount you spend. You don't have to spend $35, and it'll be from probably tomorrow until the 13th of December, because any later than that, and I probably won't be able to get people's Christmas gifts out to them on time. So I don't know where Steve went. But when he comes back here, I'll let him make his announcement for anybody that may be watching. But again, the watch along for tonight is for It Follows. And I don't know what to do here because Steve has went away. So I don't know. I've kind of mentioned all the stuff that I could mention. Let me take myself out of the stream for a second because I don't want to sit here and look like an idiot here. Well, maybe he's coming back. Steve, are you coming? Okay. Because I ran out of things to talk about.
So my announcement is, one second.
Steve's not even showing his face.
It's funny that way.
It is. $5.
What does that buy me, Dan?
Are you throwing your hat in the ring to pick a watch along?
Yes. And I will.
Wait, look at this. Stevie's gave me a $5.
I have to take my cut of super chat.
This is a physical $5 super chat, so y'all won't necessarily see it up on the screen. So, okay, Steve, if nobody else comes in here, then it's your pick. So, what's your pick?
It's the Saturday after Christmas.
The Saturday after Christmas is taken, folks, if nobody else comes in on this. The Saturday after Christmas. Okay.
I think it's the 28th.
Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. All right. So what? This is probably going to kill me. Steve says that I'm going to like it. I bet I'm not. I got a funny feeling he's going to make me watch. He's going to make me watch the remake of The Evil Dead or something.
Shit.
Pardon that. I'm sure it's not going to be Terror on Tour or anything like that.
You got your phone?
It's not.
Do you have a flashlight?
Oh, Lordy.
That's all right.
Just turn on the light in here, honey. Just hit the button.
Oh.
Steve claims to know where all his movies are, so I figured he would have had this movie pulled out already.
I was going to do that. I dropped that thing again.
Is it your sign? Well, Steve's doing like me. King Kong. Oh. Ooh, okay. Now, does this mean you're going to be on there with me?
Yes.
To do this? All right, folks. If even if one other person picks, or throws their hat in the ring, we'll still do Roadhouse on Saturday, and the other person will get their pick for Sunday. So, more than likely, me and Steve will be doing Roadhouse watch along,
and we'll
December 28th.
I will have one or two adult beverages, so I can get in the mood of going to the double douche.
Okay, and are we gonna be watching your version?
I mean, we'll watch whatever version. I can watch the 4K. Well, I guess I'm gonna be in the living room. You can watch the Blu-ray.
Is there a Blu-ray? Oh, I've got.
Yeah.
I think I may have a Blu-ray and a 4K.
And
but
I'll give you my picture I made of myself when I was young and dumb, of my me starring in a Roadhouse sequel.
Well, I guarantee your Roadhouse sequel would have been better than the one that they made.
I know Jake Busey, but yeah.
Thank goodness you're not. No offense to Jake Busey, but so y'all can pretty much count on that. The Saturday after Christmas, December 28th, watching me and Steve navigate through the awesomeness that is Roadhouse. Because I love Roadhouse too. And wasn't this
Roadhouse?
Wasn't this a movie that when you were in the Army you went to see more than once?
Tell the story and everything.
Yeah, Steve has lots of stories, including, was it you and Jeff or you and Lee that traveled to try to find that Roadhouse?
No, it was a drunken idea that we never did.
Oh, you never did.
Which was good, but we'll go over that too.
Yeah, we'll go over all.
Then we'll watch the Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse afterwards.
No, God, please don't make me sit through that. No. Okay, so I'm going to reach back here and turn this light back off.
I'll get it.
But that did make me happy, Steve. I thought you were going to have me watch King Kong, which would have been all right.
Well, that fell down, so I had to. So Reg's out there somewhere.
We'll never get him in, I can tell you that much. But anyway, so Steve didn't really have to do this, give me $5, but thank you anyway. He'll take it back now.
Yeah, that was just a prop. Sorry. No.
It's only because he had some cash on him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you think of my Evil Dead chick?
She looks a little sick and gauntly or something.
It's supposed to be
a
like
zombie.
yeah, I mean.
You're a deadite or something?
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
But other than that, what do you think?
Yeah.
And the fact that she's more well endowed than your wife, so.
Well, maybe if you. Well, I was gonna say, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
If I dress that way,
I don't know.
But anyway, we're just playing around.
All right, I'm gone.
All right, thank you, dear.
Yeah.
That did make me happy. I'm probably gonna have to get up and get Reggie in at some point. But I hope that Mentallect shows up in any event because this was his pick and he did shell out some money for this. Again, tomorrow's night's watch along at 7 p.m. Eastern time will be REC or REC, which is pretty much a found footage film. And I'm going to do y'all a solid. I knew it. Hold on just a second. Okay, folks. Hopefully I won't have to go away again. Had to get Reg in. This hat will stay on as long as I can, keep it on. But it may have to come off at some point. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm going to do everybody a solid in that normally I have a week go by between watch alongs, and I don't do them every week or every weekend. But because it is the Christmas holiday season, I'm going to give you guys a gift, okay? But it's going to be a gift. It's going to be a gift of my choosing, okay? So next weekend, there will be a special watch along, and it's going to be a Christmas horror watch along, okay? And we're going to be watching Bob Clark's original Black Christmas on Saturday the 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And Sunday the 15th will be Don't Open Till Christmas, which is a British Christmas horror film. So you can look forward to all of that coming up. And if nobody picks anything for like the 21st and 22nd, I might get on here and do It's a Wonderful Life. Black and white version, folks. And I'll pick another film that will be non-horror that we'll do. Okay. So anyway, I hope you've got your respective copies of It Follows. I'm sorry I was negligent and did not figure out if there were any, free versions to watch. But there may be if you don't own your own copy. This is Steve's Blu-ray that I'm watching tonight. And let me let everybody know where I'm queued up to, which I'm queued up about 14 seconds in. It has the Dimension Films logo up on the screen. So I'll give everybody a couple of minutes that might be watching along tonight to get queued up, and then we'll go ahead and do the countdown and get started. Now, you may notice me rubbing my eye, this eye actually, or, acting like it's uncomfortable. Well, I've got a little cold in my eye, and someone will be saying, what in the hell are you talking about? You got cold in your eye. But that's what we always called it back home. It feels, like it's got something that's irritating it in there. And so if you see me closing it or rubbing at it, which I really shouldn't be rubbing at it, that's what the deal is, okay? But I didn't want to miss this watch along because, like I said, Mentallect put down his hard-earned money for this. And, I want to do it upright. I want to be respectful to people. People are supporting the channel. And again, there are many, 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 many ways that you could support the channel. It does not have to be financially. You can like videos. Thank you, Steve. Steve says it follows us on Prime Video and the Roku channel app. So there you go, folks. I just lost my whole train of thought there, though. I was saying there are many ways that you can support the channel, and then they all don't have to be financial. You can like videos. You can share my channel or share some of my video links with your friends and family that you think might enjoy the content. You can subscribe if you feel so compelled. Those things cost you absolutely zero money. Now, if you want to contribute financially, you can contribute financially. You can join the channel for as little as $5 a month. And so there's all different ways, financially and non-financially, that you can support me and my channel. You can also buy products from me from my Deadites on Deck horror shop at deaditesondeck.com. I'll try to remember to check and make sure that I've got a clickable link to the shop in there in the description for this video, so that you don't have to think about it. Just click on it, it takes you to the shop, and you can shop to your heart's content, right? So if you're thinking about getting something from the shop for Christmas for either yourself or for somebody that a friend or family member, please get those orders into me as soon as possible. I am going to suggest that if you want to get an order in, you get it in to me by December 13th, okay? So that I can make sure that I get it to you on time. Victor placed an order, and I'm shipping his out tomorrow. I had a little snafu with getting the wrong color t-shirt with his order, and I had to get a refund and reorder the correct color shirt. So those kind of things happen too from time to time, unfortunately. There are shipping delays. There's all kinds of things. So I'm going to say, if you want to get something by Christmas, please order it by December 13th, okay? I can't really guarantee anything getting to you by Christmas if you place an order after that, okay? You can place an order after that, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get it by Christmas. So I just want to make sure that you place an order that you want by Christmas by December 13th, okay? All right, folks. We got 5 people in here. I'm going to go ahead and do the countdown. We're going to go ahead and get this film started. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Press play. And we're off and running there. Now we're seeing the Radius TWC logo and Northern Lights Films. Have y'all ever noticed that films nowadays have like oodles and oodles of companies attached to them? Animal Kingdom. There were like 3 different things up there. An Animal Kingdom production. And 2 Flints. And it's a film by David Robert Mitchell. This was a very interesting film to me. I think me and Steve, I want to say we went to the movies. Maybe we didn't. I'm going to move this over. Hey, Chris. I'm going to have to. Oops. Shoot. Trying to make this smaller because for some reason maybe I don't see the chat problem. But I really like the way that this kind of kicks off here, and you're not really sure exactly what's going on here. I know I was like that. I was like, what is going on here? This chick's in next to nothing. She's running around and now I will say, and I try to say this a lot with these watch alongs, if this is a movie that you've never seen before, um, a watch along might not be the best way to introduce a film to you. And here's why, because we might give away spoilers on here. And we don't want to, spoil the movie for anybody. And I've got my energy drink too to attempt to stay awake. And you notice the movie is called It Follows. And also, we notice that this girl is seeming paranoid that somebody or something is following her. And we see she's talking to her dad on the cell phone. And she's telling him and her mom how much she loves them. Okay. So we can see that that is very unnatural, the way she's positioned. See, I always wanted to have even a little pool like that one since me and Steve have been married. But Steve says, no way, Jose, because we ain't got nowhere to put one. He says, we ain't really got a yard. There's a lot of concrete in our yard. And I was like, great, we'll put it on the concrete. It'll be flat. Of course, I don't know if I want to be in this pool. It looks awfully dirty down there in the bottom of the pool. I don't know. I like this girl's look. I mean, it's not really a glamorous look, but I don't know. This may sound overused, but it's a girl next door look, is what it is. And, I have this thing where maybe it's just me, but a lot of times these chicks in these movies are not realistic. They look like supermodels or something. It's like, what in the hell is a supermodel looking chick doing in a regular neighborhood? So these people look like normal, regular people. And okay, can anybody help me out with this? I think I asked Steve what that was. What is that, a made up device that she's reading that book on? Or is that something real that I don't know about? I mean, it's obviously not a Kindle or a tablet or anything like that. So does anybody know what that is? And two, here's another thing. The girl just farted. To me, that's realistic too. People don't fart in movies. They don't fart in movies anymore. I've seen a few older movies where they did, but it's like, let's be realistic here. Everybody passes gas. So it appears that the main girl here is getting ready to go out on a date. But again, she's quiet about it. There's nothing, I just feel like there's nothing brazen about her. There's nothing overdone. Her and this guy that are going to the movies, they seem like a regular couple, right? And I like this game they're playing here. And he's explained to her, she said, I get so many guesses as to which of these people you would have picked to trade places with. And the person that he wanted to trade places with was the child, the little boy there. How many of us have, said, gee, I wish I could go back to being a kid again, right? I know I've done that numerous times. Okay, so we're getting something weird is going on here. He's seeing a girl in a yellow dress and he's saying that's a girl you would want to switch places with. And she's like, where? I don't see her. So it's only somebody that he can see. And all of a sudden he wants to leave. I love the atmosphere of this movie too. The very, it's obviously supposed to be cooler weather, it's dreary and stuff. I like the way the colors are muted on the film. So now they've switched gears and they're at a restaurant having dinner. Oh, thank you, TJ. TJ, you say not real, just a prop. I thought, I know sometimes I'm out of the loop with devices, but usually not that much out of the loop. Too, here's something else I like about this movie, and y'all are probably, it's obviously in the age of cell phones and devices that you could read books on and stuff like that. So it's not 70s or 80s, but it has that feel to it, that retro, that vintage feel. And I love that. Even if it's not taking place in that time, I love the feel of this. And this neighborhood, even, it looks like a lot of other neighborhoods. It reminds me of the neighborhood I live in now. I know this isn't about the movie, but I forgot to mention a little bit earlier. But I am starting a new series of live streams. Um, Maybe it'll take off, maybe it won't. But it's called New Attitude. About, I've obtained a new attitude about a lot of different things in the last few months. And I just wanted to share some things with people. Um, and one of the things I wanted to share was, how to have a successful online presence with a shop, like an online shop. And so I'm going to share some of the tips and tricks and maybe even um, the pitfalls that I have encountered in the early days of my shop, because my shop's still new. It's still new, and I'm sure I still have a lot to learn. And oh boy, uh, but anyway, as they're having some sexual activity here in the backseat of the car, I just wanted to remind you that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be premiering New Attitude. So if you feel so inclined, you can stop by and see exactly what I'm talking about. And now back to our regularly scheduled program, which happens to be sex right now. Um, I do like the color for a bra, though. It's pretty. I know y'all are probably thinking, boy, Diane, you're trying to distract us from the activity going on the screen, aren't you? So she's talking about, I used to daydream about going on dates and stuff, and I think, you know a lot of this, it could have happened to guys too, but I think it primarily happens to women that they daydream about that. They daydream about going on dates, meeting the one, the person they're going to end up marrying. And I think that's really what she's talking about here. Meanwhile, it was like he was going to come on to her, and no, he's going to put her out. Okay. So you may be especially thinking at this point, what in the hell? What's going on here? He was acting like he was, going to be romantically involved with her, that he liked her, that this was a normal relationship. Well, heck, you chloroform somebody, this ain't a normal relationship, right? Okay, and so now it's like it gets even weirder. So she's tied to a chair here. I know what I'd be asking. What in the heck have you done to him? She does say, "What are you doing?" So he says he's not going to hurt her. So he's telling her this thing, it's going to follow you. And it's okay if you're still confused by this, especially if this is the first time watch. He says, somebody gave it to me and I passed it to you back in the car. It can look like someone you know, or it could be a stranger in a crowd. So it does all these things to get closer to you. It can look like anyone. Actually, I think she's in a wheelchair here because he's able to roll her around. So we're seeing something. So now that this has spread to her, she can see these individuals, this weird thing that's following her. So he's telling her if this thing kills her, then it will come after him. So what you have to do in this sense is you have to keep spreading it. It has to go from person to person to person. He's given her the rules. He says, whatever this thing is, it's slow, but it's not dumb. So never go into a place that doesn't have more than one exit. So this is about the point where Jay, the main girl, her sister, and friends of theirs are going to get involved in this. So basically, he just dropped her off and he says, just don't let it touch you. And they're probably thinking, what in the heck? So we see, the cops have showed up now. Probably an ambulance and all that. Well, when your sister shows up back at the house with just in her bra and panties, yeah, something's up. And I also wanted to say if anybody comes in here or has just come in here and you want to watch along with It Follows and you need a timestamp, just to ask me. I'll be glad to give that to you. So someone hit her bathroom window with a ball, it looks like. We don't know if that was on purpose or it was an accident. Does anybody ever drink out of the faucet like that? I can't say that I ever have. Or even use that as a way to get, to rinse your mouth out with water. So she's starting to see this thing, this thing. There's only one of it, but remember what the guy that she went on a date with said that, it can take any form at once. And we see that nobody else is seeming to see this woman but Jay. And now, unfortunately, the young woman is in the school. I mean, the appearance of whatever this thing is that takes different forms is very subtle, but it's also very creepy too. This is a dang parking garage, and parking garages, especially at night, to me are spooky places anyway. I would not want to be in one by myself. See, and this even looks like a vintage ice cream shop too. It's like this town never got out of the 70s or 80s. So her sister says the stuff that guy told her was all bullshit. And then her friend is like, what is this? It's supposed to be following you. And she doesn't know. Sorry, guys and gals. I probably shouldn't be licking my lips again, but it, they're really dry around the edges and chapped a little bit. Bonus points if somebody can tell me what movie that is. TJ, if you're still in here. So at this point, because we know that it passed to her when she was with that guy Hugh, I think they said his name was. So at this point, we're wondering, is she going to try to pass it along to Paul here? So she's kind of trying to make a joke about when they were kids that Paul kissed her and then he kissed her sister Kelly. And she's like, you kissed two sisters. That's kind of gross. And then they're talking about they found some dirty magazines when they were kids, too. So they just heard some glass shattering. So we're not sure what this is. So remember, only Jay can see these people or this thing in whatever form it's taken. So Paul wouldn't be able to see it. Her sister wouldn't be able to see it. Their other friend wouldn't be able to see it. And to me, that is ultimately terrifying because there's something that is there that you can see it, but then you begin to wonder, am I going crazy here? Because nobody else can see this thing. Uh-oh. And they're more and more bizarre as this goes on. The look of this thing, the forms it's taken. So they're telling her, there's nothing in the house, Jay, but she can clearly see it. And I've forgotten, because it's been a minute since I watched this. I have forgotten why she needs water so badly all the time. So, and they saw their friend, but then there's this big tall dude that comes in behind her. Which I will say this is a fast moving movie. It's not a super long movie. It's a little bit more than average, about probably 5 minutes more than average. But it moves very quickly and it does not take long to get into the action. Now, are you clear on everything that's going on? No, most certainly not. Again, especially if this is a first time watch. But um, you definitely get caught up in this very, very quickly. So their neighbor Greg, who we just saw was in a car with this chick who looked to be more of the glamorous type. But you just don't see a lot of that in this film. So Greg's wanting to know what in the heck's going on. So, gang, I'm going to take myself out of the stream for just a second. I'm going to run to the restroom and grab myself something to eat. If hopefully y'all won't mind me eating on the stream. Continue to watch, please. Don't everybody run away, but I will be back here in just a sec. Okay, I am back. Got me some chips. These are, in case anybody cares, cheddar and sour cream, Kroger brand chips. So they're trying to find out who this guy that she went out with is, and they found out his real name's Jeff. I don't like it that Greg's kind of massaging Jay's shoulder there. So this looks like a more upper crust neighborhood. So we're assuming that's Jeff's mom. Um, and so Jeff is telling him, like I told you, all you can do is pass it along to someone else. So he's saying, y'all shouldn't even be here. Get out. And he says, because if whatever this thing is kills her, then it kills me, and it keeps going on down the line until it gets to the person that started all this. So we're pretty sure we've seen this thing in various forms already. And I was pretty sure when I saw that person there walking that was not the thing, because it was not slow and just kind of blindly walking along. So we're almost an hour into this. And like I said, the film moves fairly quickly. I think it has very good pacing for a movie of this sort. So their friend Greg, or neighbor Greg, um, he obviously has an affection toward these people, especially Jay. And so this is evidently, I guess, his family's vacation home. And he's allowing all of them to stay there. And we all know what Paul's thinking, don't we? Paul's thinking, kill two birds with one stone. I want to sleep with Jay. So if I sleep with her, then I get the enjoyment of that. I've loved this girl for so long. And also, this thing, whatever it is, will be passed along to me. So now we can see Greg showing Jay how to shoot this gun. And Greg is feeling what a lot of us feel from time to time, We get the indication that he kind of just ignored them, kind of blew Jay and the others off, never really paid attention to what was going on with them. And now he's saying, I'm right across the street, right? And then he eventually said, I guess I should have been nice. Hey, Mentallect. You know what? I'm enjoying watching this movie again. So I'm glad that this was one that you picked. So we're seeing, oh, this is a weird scene because um, it looked like their friend was coming up behind her, but her friend is out in the water. So now we're just basically seeing her thrown around and stuff. We saw her hair being pulled up. And evidently, we saw that Paul got cut or scratched. So evidently, the fact that the other people cannot see this thing doesn't mean they can't be hurt by it. So Greg, he's kind of left out in the cold here. He's trying to figure out what in the heck they're talking about. Now, now the appearance of this thing has changed. So she's taking Greg's car. Hey, Russell. Glad to see you in here. So we have 30 some odd minutes left to film. Again, film moves very, very fast. I don't even feel like I've been sitting here that long. Oh, Jay is once again back in the hospital. And we're getting this slow panning shot through the hospital. back to Jay's room. Hey, Coco, you say just tuning in. Hey, everybody, this is one of my fave movies. Yeah, I like this one really well too, Coco. So we see that um, Greg has evidently consummated his relationship with Jay, which means this thing is now going to be following Greg. So she's saying, have you seen it? It's like, I'm waiting, but I haven't seen it. Exactly, Coco. That's a good point. You said this movie hurts my brain. You would constantly be waiting for it to get you, no matter how many people you pass it to. Yeah, I definitely um if I if this was something that was real and it happened to me, I would be in constant fear all the time that this thing was going to get me anyway. Because who made up these rules? How did they figure out these rules, right? And as we all know in life, the rules can suddenly change on you. And some of you might disagree with me here, and that's okay. But the way I've always looked at this movie is that it's a big metaphor for STDs of any kind and the dangers we've all heard of, unprotected sex. Not only could a woman get pregnant, but she could get any number of STDs, right? Coco, you say, I know, I'd just go on and let it get me. So Greg is telling the rest of them, something happened, yeah, but it's not what she thinks it is. So now Jay's seeing something strange. It appears that Greg's just wandering around in his long underwear. Hey, Batman. So what we're getting to wonder by this time, is that Greg or is it somebody else? Is it that thing? So that was obviously not Greg's mom. So if Greg is dead, then that means it's going to come back and try to get Jay again. Oh, Coco, yeah. Yeah, I was talking about really liking the lead girl too. And you definitely need to see Long Legs, Coco. It's very freaky, but I think you'll like it. Batman, you say, I heard on a video review of Silent Night, Deadly Night that Silent Night, Deadly Night was beating the original Nightmare on Elm Street before it was pulled out of theaters. Um, that is definitely a possibility. I could see that happening. Just to let y'all know, I'll probably be watching Wreck on Tubi tomorrow night. So if y'all want to join in and watch it with me, and you don't have a copy of it, I don't have a copy of it. Steve doesn't have a copy of it. It is available on Tubi. Now, that will probably mean commercials, unless I can get the commercial free version working on my tablet. Something that I'm noticing this time around is this girl likes pink. Well, how can I blame her? Pink's a cool color. So I guess our thought is, since Greg is dead, then maybe I need to find somebody else to pass this to. She saw the guys on the boat. That's a good point, Coco. You could defeat this entity by screwing an astronaut and he willingly goes to space alone and dies. Yeah. All she needs to do is find an astronaut. So here's Paul being the gallant guy he is, and probably a little horny too, right? And he's offering up his services here, and he's like, "Why'd you pick Greg?" And she said, "I thought he'd be okay." And he wasn't scared. And she said, I knew there was a backstory with them. And she said, when we were in high school, we slept together and it wasn't a big deal. So I think Paul has got an idea here. Coco, you say it's crazy because dudes still want to screw her knowing they could die. I don't think they really understand. I kind of hate the ending. Yeah, Steve told me, that they were going to do a sequel to this, which I kind of saw them doing that eventually. Not that I think that they needed to, because this is one of those movies where, all right, guys, yeah, I've had sinus problems for about a week now, so oh, um, but and there's somebody standing like this. There's a naked dude standing on the roof. This movie's not subtle. If anything, it's not subtle. Um, well, maybe he has something over his nether regions, but still. Um, because with movies like this, they have a very high potential for screwing up the a potential franchise by doing that. I think this movie probably would have done just fine as a standalone. But something makes money, they can't leave it alone. Uh, no, Batman. I did not order. I didn't pre-order Rumpelstiltskin on 4K. Probably won't be doing that. Right, Coco. You say I think it's gold. It doesn't need a sequel. Yeah, and I totally agree. And if if they were smart, they wouldn't. But like I said, they see dollar signs. The movie companies see dollar signs and they're like, no, we got to keep churning these out as long as they're making money, as long as people are going to them, we're going to keep making these, no matter how awful they may become. Which is why, if we realize that something's going to be bad, we should just refuse to go see it, refuse to give our money. I don't know how much good that would do unless we could get other people to follow us along on that. You'll watch a sequel? Well, more than likely I'll give it a try, because I know that there's not going to be a mass influx of people that refuse to watch a sequel. So this is evidently, an idea that Paul helped them come up with. So they're at a large pool, and there's going to be a storm, and they've got a bunch of electrical devices here, just all different kinds, hair dryers and lamps and all that. They got some extension cords. And like I said, we're coming up on the final scenes of the film. We're an hour and 23 minutes in to an hour and 40-minute movie. We've got less than 20 minutes left. Personally, I'd be scared to do this, setting these things that close to the edge of a pool. I know they got a plan and everything, but this is one of those things where, we all know electricity and water do not mix. And one little slip up and they could all be electrocuted. You don't care for this part, Coco? And combine that with the fact that Jay is putting herself in extreme mortal danger right here because she's using herself as bait. Oh, thank you, Russell. Um, yeah. Um, are you talking about the Evil Dead chick one, or the Deadites on Deck, or both? Um, Steve actually helped me come up with the majority of the Deadites on Deck. I had to add the on deck and the like and subscribe. But the Evil Dead chick one that's by my name, I created that one myself. Batman, you said the guy that played Jeff, he is in the first opening of It Chapter 2. See, Believe it or not, I have not gotten to it chapter 2. I need to. I watched the first chapter. Coco, you say, I just don't see how electricity is going to kill it. But that shot of the blood in the pool is pretty. Yeah, I think, that part of it about the electricity, we got to just suspend disbelief, I guess. So Jay is saying it just walked in here. And her sister's like, well, tell us, what is it? I don't want to tell you. I do like the fact, though, that in some of these shots, we don't actually see the entity either. We're seeing her friends and her sister um, running around. But so it appears that the entity we're seeing there is throwing these electrical devices in the pool, apparently trying to kill Jay. So her sister got the smart idea to throw a sheet over this thing. So now they got to get Jay out of the water. But evidently, the entity has other things on its mind here. Coco is right. The blood in the water is, it almost looks like ink or something. It is very pretty. Here's something else I like about this film. It's a horror film. It's rated R. Um, but it has sex scenes that are technically, you can tell what's going on, but there's really very little nudity shown in this movie, and the sex is handled in a way that I think it makes it more tasteful than a lot of horror movies. You know, some horror movies don't, show any sex at all. For instance, I was rewatching the original Black Christmas. There's no nudity in that. There's vulgarity. There's cursing. There's deaths in it. Um, but amazingly enough, there is no sex and no nudity in that movie. TJ, you say you think in part two Jay is still alive? I'm not really sure, TJ. And we saw right there that the thing had turned into her dad, evidently, because we saw a picture. Batman, you say, I thought it was weird that the entity chose the form of dude's mom before killing him. Talk about some supernatural Sweet Home Alabama stuff. Yeah, that's right, Batman. There's that weird device. It's not a real device again. So we saw that Paul was looking for, I guess, a prostitute to pass this thing on. That's actually much better food than I recall the last time I had to be in the hospital. So we have officially reached the end of It Follows. I want to thank Mentallect for picking this film. It was good, really, really good to go back and watch it again. because I haven't watched it in a minute. So, it was good to go back and revisit it, and it was good to hang out with all of you guys and gals tonight in order to rewatch this. Just a reminder that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time will be REC or REC, another film which Mentallect picked. And if nobody in the next few live streams that I do gives a $5 or more super chat, my dear husband actually gave me $5 so that December 28th, we will be doing Roadhouse. The original Roadhouse, not that Jake Gyllenhaal crap. I'm sorry if any of y'all liked that remake, that's fine, but I, honestly, I did not. But I will let these credits run out as I usually do, and I'll just blab about different things. But also, normally I would not be doing, watch alongs every weekend. But I'm going to give y'all a little treat for the Christmas holiday season. And I'm going to pick a couple of watch alongs for next weekend. So the 14th and the 15th. Saturday's watch along will be the original Black Christmas. I was just talking about Black Christmas earlier. No, he doesn't want me to do that. He told me that he had an announcement to make and he wanted to be on the beginning of this stream. And he said I was going to like whatever he told me. And so he handed me this $5, and then I said, I guess you're giving a $5 super chat and you want to pick a movie. And he said, yeah. And he said, you're going to like this. I said, you're not going to make me watch that Evil Dead remake, are you? Or Evil Dead 2013, whatever you want to call it. And he said, no. And he brought out the original Roadhouse. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. So if somebody else wants to throw their hat in the ring for a watch along for that weekend, you will get your pick on Sunday. And so if you want to, great. If nobody picks one, I may pick another Christmas related movie to do one on. But the 14th and the 15th, back to that, Black Christmas will be the original Black Christmas. Bob Clark's Black Christmas will be on Saturday the 14th, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Sunday, December 15th, also starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, will be don't open till Christmas. So you guys and gals can look forward to all of that upcoming. I also have a new segment, a new stream that I'm starting up tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time called New Attitude. And I will be talking about how to create an successful online presence with an online shop. Okay. So I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks and some help along the way that'll hopefully keep you from experiencing the pitfalls that I have in starting my own online shop. But I can stay on here a minute or two more if anybody wants to ask me anything or bring up anything or give a $5 or more super chat. Throw your hat in the ring to pick a film for upcoming watch along. But then I'm probably going to call it a night. But I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight. And I'd like to ask again, because I'm noticing that people come in here a little bit later. So if a lot of you would be more inclined to be able to join in these watch alongs. You don't have to come on here live with me. You can if you want. All you gotta do is ask. But if you don't want to, if you just want to come in here in the chat, then I'd be glad to have you. Now, if I started these at 8 p.m. Eastern time instead of 7, would that be better for the majority of you? I just want to throw that out there. And, I've asked that a few times and people hadn't, really said anything. But I wanted to throw that out there again just to ask. So I'll stay on here about a minute or two more in case somebody's got something to ask me or wants to respond to the question I just put out there. And then, like I said, I'm going to call it a night, get settled down for the night, maybe watch me some Christmas movie goodness tonight and just relax a little bit. And I will be seeing some of you, hopefully all of you, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time for New Attitude. And also at 7 p.m. Eastern time for Rec. Another Mentallect pick for a watch along. Oh, thank you, Russell. Good night to you too. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad that you've had a great 11 months. And I know what Russell's referring to. He's been a I guess a joiner of the channel, a member of the channel for 11 months, which means he joined 11 months ago. So I'm glad he's been enjoying it. All right, guys and gals, I guess that is it for me tonight. But again, I want to thank everybody who stopped in and hung out with me for a little bit as we watched It Follows. And I'm going to get out of here for the night. I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty because it's a brand new shirt. Again, it's a Grinch shirt. It says, "This is as jolly as I get." I get a little more jolly, but I love me some Grinch stuff. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. And I also want to remind everybody, because this is the Christmas holiday season, that if you've had disagreements with friends or family members over the past year or the past 11 months, now is the time to come back together, right? Try to resolve those problems. Try to mend those bridges. Try to mend the fences, because nobody is promised tomorrow. And no matter how angry we may be at the moment, there's always room to extend the olive branch on both sides. I'm not saying just one person has to. And let's try to work out our problems. Let this be an early New Year's resolution. Let's make a New Year's resolution before New Year's gets here, right? And so I've said my piece. I will politely get off my soapbox now. And I'm out of here for the night, but I'll see everybody next time.